Dying young can be painful, but what is more painful is people you call family watching you to die slowly in pain. This is a story of Godwin Ikoiwak.
You will not see and set eyes on your wife during that pregnancy until she delivers. Because if you do that, you will die. That was the instruction given to Boxy. This is the major problem about the paternity, which Boxy had demanded for a test, and the wife said no. What we saw today was just a miscarriage of justice, and I'm not happy. For me to come and listen to this kind of a judgment, it was a taboo. I wouldn't have wasted money to come here to listen to this jargon called justice. I'm not happy.
What would you do when you found out that children that you have been raising for years might not be yours? This is a tragic story of Barrister Godwin Ikoiwak, and we'll find out as the story unfolds. Godwin thought he had found love. He believed he was building a family, a beautiful one as that. But what if everything he believed was a typical lie, a lie from the pit of hell? What if the woman he married was hiding a deep secret that will cost Godwin his life? This is not just a story about betrayal. This is a story about deception, hidden secret, hidden children, deadly lies, and how one man paid the ultimate price for trusting the wrong woman. Godwin was just a father looking for the truth about his kids, but instead of finding answer, he got betrayed by people he called family. Sometimes the greatest danger doesn't come from strangers, but from the ones you love the most. In this story, I'm going to uncover what happened to Barrister Godwin Ikoiwak. Barrister Godwin Ikoiwak was a respected Nigerian lawyer who was brutally murdered after uncovering his wife's secret. She had been hidden from her husband, and those secrets are so deadly that it ended the life of Barrister Godwin Ikoiwak, her husband. A 41-year-old lawyer, Barrister Godwin Ikoiwak, was working with the Minister of Justice in Akwa Ibom State. Godwin was intelligent, calm, and well respected, but behind his quiet life, he was having a problem in his home, but his smiles always covers what he was facing at home. Godwin had begun to suspect his wife that she might be cheating on him with another man. But what was even more disturbing was that he feared that the two kids they had together might not be his. His suspicions deepened when he discovered something very terrifying. The boy he had always believed was his wife's younger brother was actually her son, a child she had when she was just living as a teenage maid, allegedly fathered by a Catholic priest by name Maurice Mbeke. But that wasn't all. According to Godwin, anytime his wife Apasebang got pregnant, she would disappear from the house for 9 months and return whenever she had given birth to a baby, and she will hand over the baby to Godwin and tell him that this is your child. According to his wife, the wife claimed that where she was coming from, that any man who is married to them will not see them being pregnant, that if the man see them being pregnant, that the man will automatically die. And Godwin, man of peace, believed her until when he had had enough of all the lies, he had to ask himself, what type of tradition is this? He began digging deeper to find out the actual truth that was behind his wife's claims. Godwin reached out to his in-laws, determined to confront the truth. So, on the 19th of January 2022, Godwin left his home in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State, and drove to his wife's family house in Ikono local government area. He had been summoned by his wife's family members for a meeting to discuss about his accusations. As usual, Godwin didn't think deep about the meeting, and he went peacefully, unaware that this would be the last day anyone would hear from him alive. On the next day, he failed to appear in court for a crucial case he was handling, so one of his colleagues took excuses for him that he was not feeling fine, when the judges asked about him. After they dismissed, he was worried and decided to check up on Godwin. Surprisingly, it was his wife who picked up his call. She claimed that Godwin was sick, but the truth was that Godwin was already dead and was already in the morgue when he called. His body had been moved to St. Luke's Hospital and quietly deposited in mortuary, and his wife was already working hard to cover up the truth. She had to call the Reverend Father, and they contacted another Reverend Father, which was one of the administrators in St. Luke's Hospital, and they had to connect with another doctor to issue a death certificate that Godwin actually died in that hospital. Thereby, Godwin died at home in his in-laws' house, which we'll later find out how he died as the story goes on. Abase continued going to work as if nothing happened. She didn't even care to let Godwin's parents know about what just happened. She was just going to her normal business and did not even want to let his colleagues know about what just happened to her husband. After some days, she called Godwin's family and decided to fabricate lies and tell them that her husband has passed away, that he suffered an asthmatic attack and drove himself to the hospital and passed away shortly after he arrived at that same hospital. As this story didn't add up to them, they were curious on what had happened to Godwin, as he never had an asthmatic attack since he was born. What must have caused the sudden asthmatic attack on their child? They demanded to see Godwin's body inside the mortuary, but Abase, Godwin's wife, refused to grant them access to the body, as she didn't want to hand the receipt over to them to go and see their son. And this created a lot of suspense and created a lot of questions. They were asking so many questions. Why must she be holding the receipt so tight that she didn't want us to see our brother? After like 1 week, she eventually handed them over the receipt and told them that anything they find out is none of her business, as she's not interested in anything that they can take her husband and go and bury, that it doesn't concern her, that she doesn't want to have anything to do with them. This is so sad. When the family got hold of the receipt, they went to the morgue to see Godwin's body, and what they feared most was what really transpired and happened to Godwin. There was a visible injuries, a deep cut above his eyes, burn mark on his lips, bruises on his wrists and legs, sign that Godwin had been tied up, and whatever that happened to him was a deliberate act and not an asthmatic attack, as his wife's Abase Bank claimed. The family demanded for an autopsy and a toxicology test. What they discovered after the test was reviewed was that Godwin was bound, hand tied behind her back, chest compressed, his leg restrained. The worst part of it all was that he was forced to drink sniper, locally called AUTOPSY. His death was not accidental, it was a deliberate murder. They watched him die slowly in their presence. Godwin died a most painful death. After the autopsy result was reviewed, they didn't want to let it go. They reported to the police, and the police went into action immediately and started their investigations. And what the police discovered is so heartbreaking. On the day of the murder, Abase, his wife, was in Calabar. She was not with her family on that fateful day. Rather, she was in Calabar, but yet she was on constant call with her family, her mother, her sister, and a popular Catholic priest, Reverend Father Maurice Mbeke, the same man that was accused of fathering her son years earlier. After confirming her husband's death, the first person that she called wasn't the police nor Godwin's family, but instead she called Reverend Father Mbeke. Their lie didn't end there. Before Godwin was buried, Abase, Godwin's wife, applied for and received his government benefit. Two of her brothers moved into Godwin's house and began to remove Godwin's belongings, telling the gate man that they were in the house by instruction. When it was time for Godwin's burial, his wife refused to attend the burial telling the family members that she doesn't have anything to do with them again, that her hands are off Godwin's case, Godwin's family, or anything that has to do with that family, and she did not attend her husband's burial. This is a betrayal of trust. She didn't end there. She had to write petition against Godwin's family, writing to the police that Godwin's grieving family, including his 93-year-old father, was threatening her life, accusing her of killing Godwin, and she needed protection at all costs. You conspire to kill another person's son, but your own life is so precious to you. One question that I have been asking myself is, why did they kill Godwin? Is it because he had uncovered the truth? Instead of killing him, why not divorce him? Since you have uncovered the truth, yes, I'm no longer interested in the marriage. This should have just solved the problem and everybody will be alive. Why taking another person's life? This is not nice at all and should be totally condemned by anybody that will come across this news. Coming to the side of her having a child for Reverend Father. Years ago, Abasebang, Godwin's wife, lived with Father Morris Mbeke as a maid. During that time, he allegedly impregnated Obase and she gave birth to a baby boy. That was the boy that Godwin found out that it was actually her son. It was said that the boy Abase had before getting married to Godwin was named after the maternal grandfather of Reverend Father Morris Mbeke. Godwin just raised a child without even knowing who the child is. Eventually, when the lies unraveled, Godwin was able to find out about the boy, found out about the alleged affair his wife was having with Reverend Father Morris Mbeke. He was able to also find out about the pregnancies that she would disappear for 9 months to God knows where, that she claimed it was their tradition that their husband might not set their eyes on them while pregnant. Godwin was able to know the truth behind those lies and the stupid tradition that wasn't even there in the first place. After uncovering all those truths, uncovering the lies, knowing what exactly was going on in his family, Godwin demanded for a paternity test on his kids. But before the paternity test could be done, his wife's family lured him to a fatal meeting where they tied him up and gave him poison to drink and watch him die slowly in their presence. What a most painful way to die. The Department of State Service, DSS, opened an investigation by April 2023. 6 people were charged in connection with Godwin's death. His wife, her mother, Margaret Umo, her sister, a doctor who issued a fake death certificate, a Reverend Father who was also a hospital administrator, and another doctor who they worked together with. After 2 years of trial, on June 30, 2025, the verdict came. Abase was convicted of conspiracy and accessory to murder. She was sentenced to just 2 years, and at the point of making this video, she is also a free woman. Her mother and her sister were convicted and sentenced to 10 years each. The doctor and the Reverend Father, who was involved in covering up the truth in the hospital, got 2 to 4 years. And Father Morris Mbeke, the priest alleged at the center of this whole scandal, was never charged. The judge said that they were first-time offenders and that is why he reduced their sentence. The family was devastated and said that this is a miscarriage of justice. Godwin's family said that the fight isn't over yet, as they has filed an appeal, hoping to get justice that their brother truly deserved. A man was tied up, tortured, poisoned, while the people he trusted the most watch him die slowly, all because he dared to ask questions, or because he searched for the truth. This wasn't just a murder case, it was a betrayal in the highest order by a wife, her family, and the system that failed to deliver real justice. What are your thoughts in this case? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Do you believe that Godwin got justice that he truly deserved, or Godwin deserved more? This story is really touching. Before you go, please click the other video on the screen and see other more shocking stories from Nigeria. Please, if you have not subscribed till this point, subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Share to family and friends. Turn on your bell notification so that whenever I upload video, you get notified. Thank you as you watch the other video. See you guys next time. Bye for now. My name is Nini.